So a few little housekeeping. Well, first of all, welcome to the Braille CapTel product training seminar. My name is John Kinsler. I'm the Braille CapTel product manager. And if you can see everything on your screen, you should be able to see the PowerPoint on the your left hand side of the upper right hand and left hand side, and then there's a website. We'll be talking about the website as well. And down below is the captions for people who are joining, who are hard of hearing, have a hard time understanding me. So you can, everything that I'm saying will be captioned on the bottom screen at the bottom. Okay. Looks like we are ready to go. Welcome everybody. Welcome to this first webinar for the Braille CapTel product training webinar. CapTel is actually a caption telephone for people who have a hearing loss, have a hard time understanding speech over the phone, and captions on the display screen helps them to understand what people are saying. So we have this set up already for people with hearing loss. But what about people who have combined vision and hearing loss? People who are blind, and they need to be able to have access to the telephone. So Ultratech, the manufacturer of caption telephones, wanted to create a device for people with combined vision and hearing loss. I'm going to go ahead and start with this PowerPoint. Yeah, let's see, I'm going to open up the screen a little bit more. There we go. So I wanted to just go through a little housekeeping real quick for those who just joined in. It'd just be moderating, presenting this Braille caption training webinar, and I have a co-worker who's actually going to be taking your questions in chat. So on the far right-hand side, if you have questions, please enter them in your chat, and she will compile them all together, and we will address them at the end of the webinar. I would like to go through the agenda real quick. You can see the Braille CapTel product training webinar agenda. What you will learn from this webinar is learn more about what Braille CapTel is, and how to set up the webinar, who is it for, how we can set it up. I'll be showing you videos, online videos, and I have a Braille CapTel phone right here as well. And I can show you what's in the box. There's online support videos and instructions. And of course, you have me, so you can feel free to contact me if you have any questions regarding how Braille CapTel works, how to set it up, and everything. About Braille CapTel. So it's basically for people with low or who are blind and have hard of hearing, and they have to know how to read Braille. And they need to be able to speak for themselves. It's not designed for people who are blind, deaf, and nonverbal. It's designed for people who are blind and be able to read Braille on the Braille reader display and to be able to speak for themselves. I hope everybody can hear me. So how does it work? I'm just going to go through the agenda real quick. So we're going to talk about how does it work, the requirements, how to set it up, how do people get a CapTel, Braille CapTel 880IB. We're going to be talking about support and compatible Braille displays, how-to videos, setup guides in PDF, online user manual, and a user manual in PDF, and customer support. And very importantly, we need to have people to register to be able to receive captions on the Braille CapTel phone, and there's contact information as well. All right, next slide. Make sure I did. Okay. Braille CapTel 880IB caption telephone. CapTel 880IB users can listen to the caller plus read Braille caption on the dynamic Braille display. And down here is the This is the Braille reader device that people actually feel they can use this device to search the internet or for any reading materials that they need online to read online. And we have different devices that we're compatible with. We will talk about that in a minute. And then we have our Braille CapTel literature that we give out. And we have, this is also embossed. So you can actually get these literatures and hand it to somebody who is blind, and they can actually feel the words of everything about what this literature is about. And so they can read that information, they can get one, and everything. So that's what the Braille CapTel literature looks like. Now, how did Braille CapTel phone work? What's happening behind the scenes? Does the Braille CapTel phone caption by itself? No. We have a person behind the scenes who is an operator that actually listens to what the hearing person is saying, and they are repeating everything verbatim through a voice recognition software program, which then gets transcribed into captions on the display screen. So it will show up on the CapTel 880IB in one line, and it also will be showing up in the Braille display, and they can feel, I can't say read, they can feel the words, and they can control line by line scrolling. So when the hearing person speaks, we have the captionist listening and the revoicing everything verbatim, which then gets transcribed into captions on the screen. And then because the Braille display is connected with the 880IB, they can actually feel the words, and they can do it line by line scrolling. Unlike CapTel 880i, which is the larger visual display screen for people with low vision, it has 4 lines. Well, the 880IB only has 1 line, and it needs to match with 1 line of Braille on the Braille display. So they need to control that, and they can review a caption line by line. So let me go back up. Sorry, I'm trying to work with this captions on the bottom in different screens as well. Let me move this over. There we go. So the requirements for Braille CapTel is you need to have landline telephone service. You need to have high-speed internet access using a DSL or digital cable modem. It's not compatible via Wi-Fi. You need to have a strong, solid connection to the internet. And of course, you have to have power. And in order for the blind person with hearing loss to be able to feel the words, they need to have their Braille display connected to the 880IB. And there's 2 ways you can actually connect it. You can have a direct connect via USB in the back, or you can use Bluetooth, depending on the Braille reader display. And then the final step is like every CapTel users using the internet-based model, they need to register their phone to make sure it ties in with the person who has a hearing loss. Now here are we have a list of compatible Braille displays that works with our CapTel 880IB. So we will talk about this again on our website. There's a Freedom Scientific, as you will notice that there's a BT stands for Bluetooth and USB stands for USB port. If there's an X next underneath it, that means you can use it via Bluetooth or with USB. If it doesn't, then it doesn't work that way. So, for example, Freedom Scientific Focus 14 Blue, you can use it via Bluetooth or USB. The HIMS Braille display, you can only use it via Bluetooth, and so forth. And there's like a little legend on the bottom. It explains what these X's stands for. Okay. We will go over that again. So I want to go through some questions real quickly. Well, before, let me talk about what's in the Braille CapTel box. I'm gonna make sure I can see me and make sure I'm in the camera. 1 second. There we go. Oops. So the Braille CapTel phone. This is the same box that we get. And when you open up the box, I need a van of weight here. So this is all the paper information. This information is like a list of compatible Braille displays, and it's also embossed in Braille. So you can actually give this to the blind person to actually read and see if they have a Braille display that will work with it. So you can feel that. And then this is the setup guide. You can also, it's also the front part is Braille. The inside part is not. The front part just explains to the person who uses Braille where they can get information online and view it online with the Braille display. If we had to print all of these manuals, it would be a real big, huge block. And so that's how we set it up. So this is the setup guide. And then we also have the user manual. And then we have an Ethernet cable, phone cord. And then when you open it up, we also have down here, the bottom, this little device product is called a ferrite cable. And this hooks up to the cable when you plug in the Braille display to the back of the CapTel phone, direct connect to the USB. This needs to be clamped on within 2 inches away from that port. And what this does is like a filter. It quiets down all the noise that we don't want to be interfering with the CapTel 880IB. And then we have the CapTel 880IB. Put the box over here. On top of this, we have an overlay where a blind person can actually feel in Braille what these buttons are. So for customer service, it was a CS, and they can actually feel, just to go, they have a feel of what's going on. On the back, we have the power, USB, Ethernet. I'm sorry, this is the power and this is the phone jack. I'm doing it backwards. So that's all they are. And all of this, again, don't worry about, you need to make sure you understand everything today because it's all in the setup guides, and it's also in the user manual and the online videos as well. Get this out of the way. All right, so now you see what's in the box. Let's go back to, all right, I want to check real quick. A person in chat says they're not seeing a picture on the screen, only the PowerPoint slide. Right now, just a PowerPoint slide is what we're doing, so I want to make sure that nobody's trying to send it. Okay, now let's go back to the PowerPoint. The questions and answers. This was a common question that pop up when we were at trade shows, explaining about Braille CapTel and see how people like it. So the most common question is, where can people get a CapTel 880IB? Users will get it through the National Deaf-Blind Equipment Distribution Program, or through ICANN Connect, state equipment distribution programs, or agencies that support deaf-blind users. It will not be sold on our website, at stores, or directly to customers. This is a specialized product. We want users to have the support that programs provide. Oops. Who does Braille CapTel user contact if they have problems with the CapTel 880IB? The first person they should contact is a sighted person who helped them set up their equipment. They can call CapTel customer service at 1-888-269-7477, or they can email them at captel@captel.com. We have our outreach representative that can be available only for on-site for internet-related problems. Our outreach people are not too knowledgeable about Braille displays, and so we rather rely that onto the agencies who serve deaf-blind people because they are more familiar with Braille reader display hookup. Our website is www.captel.com/braille.php, and the email address is braille@captel.com. It will come to me, and it's my contact information right there. I'm the Braille CapTel product manager, and we're here in Madison, Wisconsin. It's the same company. Ultratech is the manufacturer of Braille CapTel. 450 Science Drive, Madison, Wisconsin, 53711. There's an 800 number, 1-800-482-2424, extension 3008. Or you can call me direct, 608-232-5316. And there's my email, john.kinsler@captel.com, or you can go to braille@captel.com. Now, for sales-related questions, we have Shelly Stein at WCI. She's the customer service manager, and she handles all of the sales-related questions about how for EDPs in every state, if they want to get these Braille CapTel phone for their clients, please contact Shelly Stein at WCI. And there's the contact information. I'm going to repeat it for some people who are just listening in. It's WCI 1500 Olympic Boulevard, Santa Monica, California 90404. The 800 number is 1-800. Let me hide that thing 1 second. There we go. Sorry about that. I'm going to, and then 1-800-233-9130. We can receive a voice or a TTY call. Or you can call her direct at 310-260-9363. And the fax is 310-450-9918 fax. And then there's the email address, shelly.stein@whitebreck.com. And the email there, the website, is www.whitebreck.com. So I'm going to hold off. So that concludes the PowerPoint. And now I'm going to minimize this screen. And I want to take you to our website. Let me open up that page a bit. Okay, great. So Braille CapTel, all the information, if you need a refresher, just so you know, this session is also recorded and it will be online on our website for if EDPs have new hires, or if you need a refresher on this presentation, you can always go back and review the webinar. Just so you know, you don't have to take notes if you need to. So Braille CapTel is, like I said, it's for people with combined vision and hearing loss who have difficulty hearing over the phone. I apologize to the card person if I'm talking too fast. You can connect any dynamic Braille display. You can connect either via Bluetooth or USB. I've already mentioned that. And the benefits is for people with low vision. They read word for word on the Braille display. It gives them that confidence to be able to feel the people's word of what's being said on the phone. Like I'm using a headset, they can actually use the handset like this, or they can use an audio jack and have a headset so they can have their hands free to be able to read the Braille display. Okay. So that's about Braille. And now about Braille CapTel. What is Braille CapTel? And it's all there. And while I'm on this page, I want to show you one of our videos, of the support videos that we have online. And this is just a generic basic introduction. Whoops, I can't do that, so the captions are going to be off. Okay. Oh yeah, so it's captioned, so I'm going to pull full screen, sorry. Okay, so we have that. It's pretty easy. And here we have down here documentation, the Braille specifications. If you need to know the dimensions on the sizes and everything, it's all right there as well. Next, we have Braille CapTel literature, which I've already explained to you in the PowerPoint. So if you need a bunch of these to pass out to people or your clients who are blind, they want to know more about it, they can actually feel the words of what everything Braille CapTel is about. All right, going back to get CapTel 880IB. Now, where can they get a CapTel? So we are working with ICANN Connect and National Deafblind Equipment Distribution Program. So if you click on this, and it should take you to the state. So you click on this state. Let's say, since we have Shameen Stratton online, so let's go there. And then we have Colorado Commission for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing administers ICANN Connect in Colorado. And so you have the information right there. And then on the right-hand side, it has the contact information where they can actually contact them about getting a Braille CapTel phone. Going back. So, all right, specification, we already did that. That's right. Okay, sorry. And then we have FAQs. So I think most of it I'll be addressing the cost for the CapTel 880IB. The CapTel 880IB is not available for customers to purchase directly. They need to get the equipment through either the National Deafblind Equipment Distribution Program and the BEDP, or the ICANN Connect, like I said before. Some people say, why isn't CapTel 880IB priced at $75 like some other CapTel models? The cost of the CapTel model is subsidized by service providers, allowing those models to be offered at a lower price than the actual cost, because the service providers pay for the most of the equipment expenses. The cost of 880IB is not subsidized by service providers, therefore it cannot be offered at a lower price. I've already explained about where you can get it. There's a list of agencies, which I explained that. Which Braille displays work with 880IB, I explained that as well. Does the Braille reader come with it? Now, the 880IB does not come with a Braille display. Customers will use their own Braille display readers if it's a compatible model. Otherwise, they will need to acquire a Braille display reader through the agency or directly from a Braille display supplier. And we have a list of Braille displays that are compatible. How do the people with blindness combine vision hearing loss set up their CapTel 880IB. We recommended a sighted individual person, typically from an equipment distribution program or through the Deafblind Support Agency, to assist with the initial setup. Help materials are available at the Braille CapTel website in multiple accessible formats that are compatible with web readers and other assistive technologies that individuals who are deafblind commonly rely on. How do they register? It would be the sighted person that's setting up the phone, and they will help them with registration. They can send out paper fax to us as well. In most cases, the installer will help them with the registration at the time of setup. Now, every Braille CapTel unit has a serial number, and it's listed on the bottom and the outside of the box. We also put a Braille embossed labeler to identify the electronic serial number of that unit. It's listed on the bottom side of the Braille CapTel phone. And then there's more FAQs that you can review as well. I want to make sure I have time reserved for people to ask questions. Let's see. Okay, support compatible Braille displays. There's a list right there. And you can click on the link and it tells you more about it. The how-to videos, there it is. We have different videos for different Braille displays. So you can actually click on it and then it will show you that display. Now, let's see. And we have a setup guide in PDF. So you can scroll. This is for the sighted person to actually review. And it also has the manual that comes with the CapTel 880IB. Now, for the blind person, they can actually review the user manual on our via user online manual, and it's set up this way. This way is Braille reader display friendly. They can actually click one and they go 2.1, and it helps them to be able to navigate where they are in the manual using the Braille display. And it goes off, and it's a really long list. All right, and then we have hotkeys. These are hotkeys that Braille display users use to type in. It's really fascinating to use. When I try to use it myself, it was just challenging trying to remember what key to push to punch in the numbers, to backspace and forward, and all of that. It's just like hotkeys that we put together to make it easy for people to sighted person who may be understandable how to use the Braille display. They can use the space .8 to press yes. So we have that set up for them. Then all of the people, sighted persons setting up the Braille CapTel phone for their clients, they can go to our website here and click on register. And then you can enter in the CapTel user's name, address, everything, phone number, email, and down here and click on there saying you're not a robot. And then they have to accept the terms of condition. It's a requirement by FCC. And then you click on register, and then they can have their phone, Braille CapTel phone, and the Braille display all set up and ready to go. If you don't register, it will not be commissioned and it will not be turned on. So it's very important that they register. And then finally, send us a message. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, and you have my contact information from the previous PowerPoint slide, and there's information down here as well. All right. Oops. It's getting close to the... Oh, we're good. We're good. I felt like I was rushing. So now I'd like to open up for questions that pop up in the chat. And Amy, my coworker, wanted to make sure that remind everybody that we will add EDPs online to the list for the EDP when the EDPs offer it. So if you don't see anything at EDPs, we will add them online once they have it set up as a product, as one of the products they want to offer for their clients. Let's see. Just going to go through the questions real quick. Does the CapTel captioning service rely on human to convert speech to text? Yes, we have a person behind the scene that's actually, because the voice recognition software is voice dependent, we need to have a live person who's already trained the software program that it's already recognizes their voice. So if we had a brand, like if you buy this, the voice recognition software program yourself for your own writing books, whatever, you would have to train that hours and hours and hours of training so it recognizes your voice. So that's why our operators uses this voice recognition and speak in doing it for the person, whatever the hearing person is speaking, they revoice everything verbatim, which then gets transcribed into captions on the display screen. Now, one question popped up. Can you explain more about how to connect it to a HD TV? I know you saw this video. I was afraid it was going to pop up. This is something that is we tested it for people who had low vision, and right now the CapTel 880iB, the font size is big enough, and we wanted sometimes maybe even that font size is not big enough. They even need bigger letters. We did, our engineering department worked on that, and that's something that we are going to be working on in the future. It's not available now, but how it works is that they use a big monitor, and that monitor connects to the back of the 880iB. Sorry, and it connects to the USB. If you try to do it now, it would not work if you get this phone. So we do not recommend that it's ready now, but I'm just letting people know that it's going to be available soon. I'm sorry, correction. It's going to be connected via HDMI port. And we had it's the HDMI port is going to be there. So you plug, it's an HDMI port in the back of the monitor, and you plug it into the HDMI port in the back of the Braille CapTel 880. Right? So that's something that we're working on, and for people with low vision. But for those who really need it now, we have the 880iB. I'm sorry, the 880i is for people with low vision, and that they can get that now through the third-party certification form if they get it that way, or they can get it through the EDPs. There's another question that pop up: is the cost? What is the cost for the 880iB? That is the question for Shelley in WCI to answer. So if you need to connect with Shelley, let me see, whoops, sorry. Whoops. One moment here. I got the whole screen lit up here. 1 second. Whoops. Sorry about that. There we go. Move that back down here. This is my first time doing a webinar. I apologize for the inconvenience. So I was going to open up my the PowerPoint. Here's how you can contact Shelley. Again, her email address is shelley.stein@whitebrick.com, or you can call her at this 800 number 233-9130 to learn more about how much it costs. All right. I'm looking at some more questions. Any other questions that I didn't cover? Please send them on the chat section. All right, but just so you know, you can, if you have any questions about Braille CapTel, you can contact me Let me give you my, I have a video phone number, and that number is 608 234 5067. I repeat, 608 234 5067. Let me hide this thing, sorry. Yeah, I was told to hide my icons. Sorry about that. All right. Again, I'm here every day unless I'm at trade shows. But you can always email me. And so if there are any other questions that popped up, that if you didn't ask me here, feel free to call me, email me, or give me a video phone call, and I'll be happy to address it that way. Let's see if there's anything else that I'm missing before we end this seminar. And just so you know, everything is recorded and it will be posted on our website for you to review later. All right. Well, this was a quick presentation. I don't see any other questions. I hope everybody is satisfied with this presentation. And I thank you all for joining me today. And I look forward to meeting you in the future, in future trade shows. And looking forward to talking to you on the phone as well. So if you, so that concludes my webinar. I thank you all for joining. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful holiday for those who just have a wonderful holiday. Bye-bye, everybody.